Batman Beyond finally making a return in animations, the antimatter waves growing stronger, Supergirl and Psycho-Pirate having significant roles. DC released Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2, but apparently, the adaptation of the biggest event in comics hasn't been well received by the audience. Is it really bad or does it have its merits? Stay tuned until the end of the video to catch all the important details. Part 2 of Crisis on Infinite Earths starts focusing on Batman, still being that lone wolf who doesn't want a team, all to clash with the Bat family that aims to be the counterpoint to his argument. Right off the bat, we see the animation falter early on, Commissioner Gordon loses his life, and Batman shows no empathy whatsoever. This flaw lies in both the script and Jensen Ackles' voice acting, as there's a lack of emotion there. James Gordon is one of Batman's greatest allies. It doesn't make sense for him to lose his life and Batman not to be affected in any way. I also didn't like the appearance of Joker, Killer Croc, and Solomon Grundy. Their plan to only destroy the tower holding the antimatter didn't seem convincing to me. Another flaw I see in this Batman is that he regressed from the first part of the Crisis, as in Part 1, he starts off not wanting a family, even takes Dick Grayson to an orphanage, but by the end, after getting to know the Bat family and working together to save Earth from the antimatter, the animation ends with the feeling that Batman is starting to change his mind, to evolve. However, when a second part is released, he reverts back to the status quo, regressing significantly in his own character development arc. Psycho-Pirate betrays the heroes and unleashes a wave of hatred to disrupt the mission of stopping the antimatter, leading to the Bat family fighting amongst themselves. Even after the effect of the hatred wave has subsided, there's no remorse or apology from Batman to the Bat family for what he said. They end the animation still somewhat at odds. Jensen Ackles is a good actor, I enjoy his work, but in Crisis, Batman lacks any emotional depth. Regarding the Batman matter, it's impossible not to criticize the Bat family's involvement, as they are already together, but no introduction is made. Batman Beyond is already there without any explanation, not introduced as such, and has merely a couple of lines. The same goes for the other Bat family members. It's as if they had appeared at some point before the movie. However, the issue is that there was no such prior introduction, reflecting how the Tomorrowverse has been, not prioritizing character introductions before diving into the plots. It comes off a bit like clickbait, with Batman being heavily featured in the promotional material, creating expectations akin to what was seen with the Flash in the first part, which had good development and made you care about the character, but it turned out to be the opposite. Moving on to the true protagonists of the animation, Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2, it falters in the first act with over half an hour of flashbacks involving Psycho-Pirate and Supergirl. These flashbacks are quite tedious to watch. The pacing, script, and narrative are slow and tiring. While Psycho-Pirate is indeed crucial for DC's Crises, the flashbacks about his past take away from the animation's core focus on Crisis itself. The same applies to Supergirl, delving into her origin and incorporating the Monitor in her backstory. It's only around 1 hour into the movie that we finally see the continuation of the events from the first part of the animation. The movie centers on 3 Earths trying to stop the increasingly powerful antimatter waves: the main Earth with the League's heroes, the Earth with Batman and the Bat family, and the Amazon Earth. The animation fails to convey the emotions adequately, leading to major characters being sacrificed without much impact on the viewers. This is the opposite of what was achieved in Justice League Dark, Apocalypse War, where the threat felt real, and you genuinely feared for the heroes, creating a sense of shock when they were in peril. The Crisis animation lacks the emotional weight found even in the original comics, where character sacrifices were deeply felt and mourned. There are moments reminiscent of the comics, such as Psycho-Pirate betraying the heroes under the Anti-Monitor's influence, and Supergirl killing the Monitor also due to the Anti-Monitor's sway. While the character responsible in the comics was Harbinger, here Supergirl takes on that role. Aside from heroes fighting each other on the various Earths, the Anti-Monitor's shadows appear to hinder the heroes, resulting in action-packed scenes, but essentially, this second part comes down to a long, draggy start followed by action sequences lacking emotional depth. Before we continue, if you want more content on Marvel and DC, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. We have a playlist dedicated to DC topics with news and comic content. If you're interested, click on the card appearing on your screen. Unfortunately, we've reached a point where the tables have turned. DC used to be noted for its superior animations compared to Marvel, but currently, with X-Men '97 being a hit for Marvel, DC's animated films seem to be declining in quality with each release. I do want to highlight the animated series My Adventures with Superman, which is excellent, but in animated films, DC has been missing the mark for quite some time. Superman and Wonder Woman were underutilized in this second part of Crisis, with Diana's death lacking any emotional impact in the film. The Wonder Woman featured is the same from the Justice Society movie, which is a better animation. The movie closes with a cliffhanger as the shadows merge to form a giant monster that the heroes initially can't defeat, and the true villain of the story has not been revealed yet. In the comics, the antimatter is introduced early on, quite unlike here where it's saved for the end. Perhaps they are saving something grand for the third part of the story, but it might be too late, as this animated film has toned down the hype for the conclusion. What might draw people to watch the third part is the appearance of characters from Bruce Timm's animated series universe, with Mark Hamill's Joker and Kevin Conroy's Batman confirmed. I'll soon release a video on the channel dedicated to the teaser for Part 3 that came out this week. These are the thoughts on Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2 from Comic Chronicles. It's an animation with a weak script and shallow action. Now I want to hear from you. Did you like this movie? Do you think Crisis deserved a better adaptation in the animations? Write in the comments, like the video, and subscribe to the channel with notifications on, to stay well informed about the DC and Marvel universe every day. Thank you to those who stayed until the end of the video, and until next time.